We're going to be walking for 6 miles this morning. We are in Brooklyn, New York, and we're going to be walking some very damp, foggy streets. We are starting out just outside of Dyke Beach Park to my right. And yeah, so the forecast for this walk is just a lot of gloom. We're going to be going out to Coney Island. We're going to take the bike path to start out the first leg of the walk. Let's safely cross the highway here. Glad I'm not the only one that's out and about, because the time right now that I am recording this, it is 6 a.m. This is a 6 a.m. walk. Best time in the day to walk around. People are still just getting up. By the time we get to Coney Island, it should be close to 7 a.m., so probably see some people going to work, going to school. We're definitely going to see people down here walking around. We're not going to be the only people out. May also hear some foghorns this morning. So the temperature right now is 70 degrees. The humidity is 100%. It is pretty much capped out. We've been having rain the last couple of days, and the forecast for today is also rain, so I have my umbrella with me just in case to protect the camera. I am using the newer camera today. I'm using the Pocket 3. And I mention that because this is the first time I am using this camera in what I would consider inclement weather. We will see how it does. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk this down to Caesar's Bay Parkway area, and we're going to go through the parking lot over there, get onto Shore Parkway, take Shore Parkway down, get past the Home Depot, get onto Cropsey, and then when we get to Cropsey, I'm gonna make a decision. Whenever I take you guys to Coney Island, every time we go to Coney Island, I do a different route to keep it interesting. I think the last time I was down there, I can't even remember the last time I was over there, but sometimes we do Mermaid Avenue and Surf Avenue. Maybe today we will do Neptune. So this is going to be a 6-mile walk, so that means I got to do some walking. So definitely going to take Neptune probably all the way down deep into the West Streets, and then we'll take a cross street up to the Boardwalk, and then we will walk the Boardwalk, but this time the Boardwalk portion will be on the Seagate side, so we'll walk from the Seagate side down to the parachute jump. That should be 6 miles. So long walk today, long walk. And hopefully I could get this up in time for the afternoon today. Same day delivery. I gotta stop for a second. And fix my sock. I'm going to show you guys something in a moment before I get past this lady who's directing traffic. You get some of these people in the morning, man, that do all these, aerobics or whatever you call them. In the spirit of World Cup, I'll just say that she's warming up for the next soccer game, man. She is getting ready for the next soccer game. If you look down there, you can see the smoke. We call it, it's actually fog, but we call it the smoke on the water. You can see it coming up over the rocks down there. It's pretty cool. And you can kind of see it coming up over the wall and right across the bike path where that. There's a person, now there's another person doing some interesting morning routine. They're walking backwards and moving their arms up and down. Yeah, so the first part of this walk is going to be on this bike path, so. Wow, you guys see some of the, I don't know, well, I should say you gotta see, you should be able to see it in the camera up ahead. You can see the way that fog is just rolling over the wall. It's pretty cool. I'm going to put the camera up a little higher so you guys can see what I'm talking about if you can't see it. But if you look straight ahead, like right on the bike path, you can see that stream of fog that's just going over the bike path. And if you turn around here and look where we were just walking, you could see it going over the bike path on that side. Quite an interesting morning. This is what you're gonna get when you have 100% humidity. What you have is you're gonna have the precipitation, the moisture. It just doesn't even dry. It just stays in the cloud form. Look at this. We're actually walking into a much more thicker little fog bank here. It's like a mini fog bank over here. Is this girl running? I guess all these people you see over here on the highway are going to work in Long Island. They are heading eastbound. They are not heading westbound towards the city. Technically, we are already on the island of Long. The geographic landmass of Long Island actually starts here, right here. This is the most western end you can get on Long Island. And then, of course, if you head all the way east, on the eastern end is Montauk Point. Long journey. But you know, there are people that live, quote unquote, on Long Island that would not consider this Long Island. So Brooklyn and Queens are, you know, we're like the illegitimate children in the family. But there used to be 4 counties, official counties on Long Island. It was Kings, Queens, Suffolk, Nassau. Now it's just 2, Suffolk and Nassau, and they consider Kings, which is Brooklyn, Kings County is Brooklyn, and Queens County, Queens. They just consider those 2 part of New York. Looks like we got a conversation going on over here. If you want to read about and learn about how Brooklyn and Queens became part of New York City, you could just look up the mistake of 98. That's what they call it. 1898. Definitely not 1998 or 1798, but 1898. But you can read about all that history of how it all happened. Look at the way how thick that fog is out there that where we're walking. It's cutting in front of Caesar's Bay. You cannot see the water or the bike path out there. You can just see the top of Caesar's Bay out there. You see these trees here to my left? I remember when they planted these way back 21 years ago. These trees are now 21 years old. And they've really grown. I mean, they've gotten really big. It's crazy how big they are. I have if anybody ever asks who's the first person doing live walks on YouTube, well, it wasn't on YouTube. I was doing live walks on Justin TV back in the day. And I still have an archived walk that I did live on Justin TV, and I'm walking by these trees when they were just planted. Maybe a couple of years. I think that walk was in 2007 or 2008. Maybe one day I'll show it to you guys. I have it. It looks really pixelated. I mean, you're talking about a live stream, which was possible that many years ago. With the way we did it, the way we were like, I guess you could call us the pioneers. The way we did it was you literally carried a laptop with you in a backpack with an extra big battery pack, used a Verizon Air card to connect to the internet, and there was no OBS, there was no streaming software. You just, you directly went into the site and then said go live on the camera. And in case you're wondering, well, what kind of camera I used? Yeah, you guessed it. It was a webcam. It was just a webcam that was USB connected to the laptop, and you would hold the camera. It looked kind of strange. People see you holding like the old school webcams from like 2007, because if you remember what those looked like, they were round. They had like a little stand, and it was like a ball. You could look them up. Now, back in those days, YouTube was just starting. YouTube was maybe a year or two old. And the only thing you found on YouTube in those days was cat videos. Cat videos and how-to videos. Like the how-to videos of how to change a faucet. Or how to change a tire, stuff like that. That's what YouTube was back in those days. If I would have known back then what I know now, I would have kept doing that walking, and I probably would have been the biggest channel all over. But you don't think about those things. I had a career at the time. You don't just, oh, let me give up my career so I could live stream on Justin TV. Eventually, Justin TV, his partner that he was working with, Justin Chan, they created Twitch, and they were running Twitch and Justin TV side by side. And the story, eventually Amazon bought the Twitch side, they shut down Justin TV, and that's how we have Twitch now. Can't even see Caesar's Bay anymore. We're right there. We've arrived. I mean, the fog is starting to get thicker down here in patches. It's kind of strange. If you look back this way, you can see there is some blue sky out there a little bit. 6 miles. I am not going to keep track of the mileage, though, on this one. Usually I like to keep track of the mileage. I'll probably throw it into the description. So that there's some chapters that you guys could follow, but it just got really cool right in this spot, and that is why. So let me tell you guys a little thing about weather. There's probably like a very tight stream of low-level breeze, sea breeze. That is why it's so foggy down here. It is moving the fog in at a much greater pace than where we were walking, and you could feel it's a nice, cool area as we walk through this fog. We are in the fog here. Very damp, by the way. It is. Man, it is damp. All right, well, we've made it to the end of the bike path portion. They've been doing some work down here. And as you can see now, the buildings down here have come out of the fog because we are walking, we're pretty close to it. I'll give you guys a quick look before we continue on. I don't know how we're going to continue, but maybe we'll go through the Caesars Bay area. Real quick look. Here we go. This is looking towards Staten Island. That's where we came from right here. This is where we came from. You can see this. You can't see it. Look at that. It's all... We were in that. That's how foggy it is. We came out of that. We were cloaked. Oh, sounds like we got a road rager, guys. I don't know what he's doing. It's a sanitation truck. Oh, I see what he's doing, guys. So you know what he's doing? So these guys are not supposed to be parked here. So there's a street sweeper, and that was a sanitation officer. And you can see the street sweeper down there he's waiting for those cars to get out of that area. So I guess beeping the horn will somehow magically cause those cars to disappear. So, because I'm going to tell you something right now. There's nobody in those cars. They parked the cars. They're probably in the tennis center. There's a tennis center over here. So they're probably in the tennis center. Here goes Target, which used to be Toys R Us. I'll give you up the lineup. So for those of you, I've gone over this story in nauseam a few times when I'm down here. I used to work in Caesars Bay when I was a teenager. This used to be where MBO used to come in here, and this was like you could go upstairs to NBO and Chuck E. Cheese, and then there was the food court upstairs. And this was all Caesar's Bay until you see the Skechers right here. It used to be Kids R Us before they rebranded to Toys R Us. Not Toys R Us, Babies R Us. This was where the Caesar's Bay was. And then over here, you had Trader Horn, long before Modell's. Long before Modell's. Trader Horn, Trader Horn is where I bought my Sega Genesis back in the 90s. And then over here, you see like that small like roof line. Just follow the small roof line even through the Five Below big facade. That was a whole bunch of mixed shops, and one of the places that we used to go to in here was More Fun, which was a very popular meet-up place, an arcade, pinball, everything. Over here you had Radio Shack right where that round Five Below sign is. That used to be where the Radio Shack used to be. The pizza place has always been here, by the way. I don't know if it was always Zamore. I know Zamore's been here for a long time, but I'm not sure if they were the pizza place in the 80s, but there's always been a pizza place there. And then they got that Teriyaki One grill. The Best Buy, I remember when this opened because it opened literally when I got out of the Navy, 2001. This used to be Wallbaum's, or however you say that name. It used to be a supermarket. It was a couple of supermarkets. I mean, it had, the last one I remember was the Wallbaum's, so. But I'm pretty sure it was probably other supermarkets over time. Like I said, this is all the work they're doing over here. In case you wonder what they're doing a lot of construction work to outfit these parking lots with electric charging pumps for the electric cars. They already installed some on the other side a couple of years ago. And over here you have the Olive Garden. You got a T-Mobile and a K Jewelers. This area here was just back in the day, it was just like I want to say it was like auto body shops and stuff like that over here. It was all run down in this area, right where we're walking. All right, we made it to Shore Parkway. Well, I'll tell you what. There was a lot of rain forecast for this morning, on and off, and I'm carrying an umbrella and nobody else is carrying one, and I'm kind of feeling like I was made to do something I didn't want to do. There goes the Harbor Motor Inn. And then you got the fitness place over here, and then you got BJ's, which, by the way, oh, it smells really good. They got their bakery going right now. I can smell the cookies baking in BJ's. BJ's is, I want to say now, been around for about, I don't know, I want to say 15 years now. This used to be just one big empty lot. Well, it wasn't empty. It was a big lot with a whole bunch of school buses. Every school bus that you've ever seen in Brooklyn, New York used to park in this area here, where this BJ's is now. All right, we've reached 25th Avenue. We haven't really been walking on the streets, but if you want to kind of gauge how far we've walked, we started over by what would have been around 14th Avenue. That was like Bay 8th Street going on to the bike path, so that's how far we've walked. This right here is Adventurers Park. This is the old Nellie Bly, which is still here. You know, a lot of people over the years talk about Nellie Bly, and they think it's gone, but it is not. It is still very much in operation. The very old miniature golf course is still here. Hasn't changed a bit. Nothing in this place has changed. They are still using all the same rides that they were using 40 years ago, 50 years ago. I mean, it's a testimony to how good the maintenance is. How good the maintenance and how good the equipment is over the years. It pretty much still looks the same in there. Not sure if I haven't been in there in forever. The last time I was inside here was in the 1990s. But we used to come here to ride the go-karts. There's like a go-kart track back there. I don't know if they still use it or operate it. And they also had batting cages back here. I don't know if those are still around. We used to do the batting cages too. People forget that. There were batting cages back there. I don't know if they're still there. So maybe somebody that's been in there recently could let us know. I started this walk exactly at 6 a.m. And it says that we have been recording for 36 minutes, so that means that time right now is 6:36 a.m. Still not 7 a.m. We are in the Gravesend section of Brooklyn. When we started, we were, I guess you could say we were in the Bath Beach section. Could also say Gravesend Bay. We were walking in the Gravesend Bay area of the bike path, that big Basin Bay area that we were in. That's Gravesend Bay. I'll give you all a little bit of some nature. So I'm gonna walk. We're gonna continue walking through this direction, but we'll get off of the sidewalk. We'll walk through the park here, Calvert Road Park. Calvert Bow Park. That is the name of the park, named after Calvert Vaux, V-A-U-X. I had read history about that person, and I can't remember it. But I don't like to try to quote history if I can't remember it, but I will say, if I'm not mistaken, Calvert Vaux drowned. I don't know if he drowned in this area, but I believe he drowned. I hope I'm not wrong about that, but you're going to have to look that up. And if he didn't drown, you're all probably going to ask me, well, why would you think he drowned? Because I know somebody a historic figure drowned in this area many years ago, so I don't know if it was him. This is the nature part of the walk, brought to you by Stride Warrior. And yeah, we're going to walk right through this grass. I am not going to go around on the path. We'll go right through the grass. I'll get my feet nice and wet. It's okay, I got my rain sneakers on. Got a big soccer field here with stadium lighting, so you will see people playing here to all the hours of the night. Now this area has really, we're walking right now. Are you ready for this? For those of you who have never lived in this area where we're walking right now was a garbage dump. This was one of the big Brooklyn sanitation garbage dumps. And former Mayor Rudy Giuliani shut it down over 25 years ago. And eventually they turned it into what you see here, this park. And you know, when you shut down a landfill, you gotta wait. There's like a waiting period or something. We'll go this way. Get back on the sidewalk. There's like a waiting period. You gotta wait, you know, for safety reasons and health reasons before you could start turning the landfill into actual land to be used. So for many years after he shut down the landfill, it was just sitting here. And then they started really renovating this area and building the park out. In the, I want to say around 2010. Now, the park, so here there is a little bit of an overlap here. The park was here, right? So, but most of the park, it was a very small area. It was just it was like a couple of soccer fields and stuff. But 80% of this, like this area right here, was all garbage dump. So it looks a lot different down here than it did back in the 80s and 90s. It is getting quite dark behind me. I don't know if that means rain is coming or what. I guess we may find out when we get to Coney Island. So I'm using the newer camera with the very long battery life. So in the event that I finish this walk and it starts raining, I might re-up the camera and start another recording. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're about to change here. About to get onto the street, onto the main streets again. Well, let me turn the camera around and tell you what I'm talking about. You see how dark it is down back there? I don't know if the camera is displaying it the way I see it, but it has gotten dark back there. So we're gonna get onto Cropsey Avenue here in a moment. I remember the last time I was down here, we were walking down here, the car ran right through the stop sign, like at full speed over here. And I didn't cross for that reason. Like I always stop even though it's a stop sign because people don't stop, and he went right through. And if I would have walked through the crosswalk, I would have been creamed. I would have been dead. Home Depot is in there. You know what? Let's change it up. I've never taken you guys down here, so let's go in here. Let's go into the Home Depot area. It is really getting dark over here, guys. It's okay because I got my umbrella. We still got about an hour of walking to go, so anything can happen in the next 60 minutes. Bay 53rd Street. Over the years, I've given directions for bike riders that want to get to Coney Island. I always say, take Shore Parkway and cut through the Home Depot parking lot and then go on to Cropsey Avenue. This is what I'm talking about right here. A lot of people don't realize you can get onto Cropsey Avenue going through this parking lot like this. It smells like wood, like just lumber, like wet lumber. Like I probably smell all this. This is all wet. So all this wooden fencing you could buy, all this soggy wooden fencing you could buy. Oh, the sound of push carts at Home Depot. The sound of push carts at Home Depot. This is another area, by the way, as you can tell. At one time, it was nothing down here. Oh my God, these sheds! I actually helped my brother-in-law build one of these. We bought one of these and put it together. It was kind of like that one, but much bigger. Last year, they got it in the backyard. This right here is the final Bay Street. This is Bay 54th, and all it is just an entrance and exit lane to get into Home Depot. I believe, at one time before they tore down this area, there were homes down here. Not a lot of homes, but there were some dilapidated homes down here that they knocked down when they built this area. So that's what this street was being used for. It was being used to access the neighborhood that was down here before they knocked it all down. I thought they were going to go right through the red light there, the way they were moving. That's why I stepped out of the way for a second. Alright guys, we are crossing officially into Coney Island. We're going to go over the creek here. We're going to cross over Schitt's Creek and we don't need a paddle. All right, so like I said, on this walk, we are going to take the route we're going to take today, since I like to always change it up when I get into this area. We're going to go down Neptune Avenue. Now, Neptune Avenue, I'm not going to say it's a dangerous area. It's not as dangerous as it used to be back in the day, but it's had its moments, even in the last 10 years. A couple of shooting deaths. But for the most part, Neptune Avenue is a lot more tamer than it used to be, but it's still head on a swivel territory at times, especially at night. It's about 8 minutes to 7 a.m., so it is still early. It's still quite early. I mean, we started this walk at 6 in the morning. It's not even... School hasn't even started yet. I think school starts at around... What time? I don't even know what time school starts these days. Probably around 8 a.m. or something. So we may see some parents trucking their kids to school on this part of the walk here before we get onto the boardwalk. We're going to go all the way down the west streets over into the west 30s, and then we'll take a west street up. We'll take the last street that you can take, because eventually you get blocked by the you get blocked by the perimeter fence of Seagate. You know, they keep us plebs out. They're afraid we might, ransack the place. But we're going to walk up that block, and we're going to get on the boardwalk, and then we're going to walk back this way to Parachute Jump, which you cannot see because it is totally bathed in fog. So this right here is West 19th, and like I said, we're going to be going down into the 30s. You know what? I want to get across the street, though. I do want to... I don't know if I should go across the street or stay on this side. You know what? We're going to get across the street. We have to cross anyway, so might as well do it now when it's easy. You're going to see, this is a very, very big roadway. I mean, you're talking about 6 lanes. 1, 2, 3 right here, and then 2 on the other side. This is the main... Everybody thinks of Surf Avenue as the main road in Coney Island. I would say it's Neptune Avenue. I mean, Surf is pretty big, but I would say that Neptune is the main road. Continues to get darker. I don't know if that means rain, but it is not. It doesn't look as nice as it did earlier when we saw some of the blue skies and it was getting bright and stuff. There's a sanitation depot right here. It's the Brooklyn South Sanitation Depot. People are living in these homes, by the way, in case you're wondering. I know that first home that we just passed, it looked like it had a lot of overgrown weeds and stuff, but these homes are occupied. As you can see, all the cars in the driveways. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let this car go through. Right here. Got some more homes over here. I just I couldn't catch it, but I just passed by two homes, at least two homes, and the top windows had Christmas decorations. Two separate homes still had Christmas decorations. Which leads me into a story I have. It's kind of a, kind of a dark story, but we had a guy who, that, used to decorate his house with Christmas lights all the time. And, he used to put a big row of lights around the frame of the house. He would put Christmas decorations all over, and I mean, the guy, he always would deck the house out. And one year the lights, halfway through Christmas, I would say it was probably maybe a few days before Christmas, the lights went out. And they never came on. And, I don't know, I guess, nobody really went to check on him or anything like that. I guess he was a man that didn't have a lot of family, and some of the neighbors, I guess, didn't think anything much about it, but, Christmas came, and of course when Christmas comes, everyone goes away, right? So nobody's really paying attention to anything. So Christmas comes and goes. The holidays come and go, and now it's January, and now people are starting to wonder, the lights never went on before Christmas, and he usually takes his Christmas lights down by now, and then sadly, they found, they finally went and started checking, knocking on doors and stuff, and they found that he passed away just a few days before Christmas. And that was the reason why the lights went out and why the decorations didn't come down. This is engine 318 and ladder 166. God, I hate this camera. I hate it. Ugh. Can't even pan right with this camera. I should have brought the old camera with me today. I was talking to somebody else that also has this camera, and I felt relieved knowing that I didn't buy a defective camera, because they said the same thing. They said they still have the Pocket 2 just like me, and they said the same thing. They were like, panning with this camera is just horrendous. It's horrendous. It really is. Now, most of the people that use this camera is people that just put their mug on the screen. But if you use this camera the way I do, touring and stuff like that, I mean, I tell you, the panning on this camera is just horrendous. It's really bad. By the way, it is officially a little bit after 7 a.m. now, so faith, hope, and love. Is this a church? Coney Island, Gospel Assembly? Coney Island Gospel Assembly. So yes, it is a church. So we are now getting closer to the end of Neptune, and then when we get to the end here, we're going to walk up to the boardwalk, and we will walk the boardwalk from the Seagate side. We have been in Coney Island, I want to say, for about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes now, 20 minutes, since we crossed over the bridge, over the creek. Starting to see some school buses rolling on the streets. School is almost out. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last week of school. Let me think about this. 22, 23, 24, 25. Yep. This Friday is the last day of school here in New York. Today is the 23rd. A couple days after summer. After the first day of summer. So Friday is the last day of school. This guy's probably going to the scrapyard. Remember, we walked by that scrapyard. When we were crossing over the creek. Let me just say, they will not take shopping carts, okay? Back in the day, people would just steal shopping carts from little shopping centers and like trade them in for scrap. They don't do that. They definitely do not do that. They don't allow that anymore. That is restricted. You can bring your shopping cart to bring the stuff you want to scrap, but you cannot scrap the shopping cart too. These are all the housing complexes in the area. Surfside garden houses. You can start to see, like I said, you can start to see the parents getting their kids to school. There's some kids waiting over there for a school bus. You can see over there, see some of the kids over there waiting. Remember, I had mentioned earlier about shooting deaths here in the area. This is the area where it's happened. We're going to be passing by the Key Food, which is on my right side on the next block. There was a shooting death there of a woman years ago. By the way, this is a school right here. This is a PS 188. on my left side here. It looks like it's all closed down.
Are you voting today?
I am not voting, I am recording.
Oh,
Have a good day. Is school closed today?
I'm not sure actually.
Because I see kids going to school, so.
I've seen school buses, yeah.
Alright. They are, that's right, today is Tuesday. Remember, today is primary day. I had mentioned that at the, I believe today's primary day. Yeah, today would be primary day. Or early vote. It's either primary day or early voting. I don't know what's going on, but I had mentioned it at the, the street festival in Park Slope when we were walking and we saw some of those people campaigning. Schools should be open though today. I mean, they don't close schools for early voting, I believe. I mean, like I said, we see kids obviously waiting for we see kids waiting for school buses and stuff. All right, here it is, guys. That's a military checkpoint for Seagate. No, I'm just joking. It's not a military checkpoint. It might as well be. I mean, look at it. They got their own little police department in there. And this whole side of the street that you're looking at, I'm pointing at, is a big barbed wire fence. We're the zombies. Guys, we are the zombies that they are trying to keep out. We are the zombies. Rick Grimes is in there right now, making sure everything is safe. Shane is no longer with us. He is now the Punisher. He will be in the next Spider-Man movie, which comes out at the end of July, right? I think that's when the next Spider-Man movie comes out. I mean, I feel like that Spider-Man movie, we've been waiting like forever for that movie. They just released more trailers for that movie, and I'm like, it seemed like they, it's gonna sound crazy, but the latest trailer, they showed a lot of stuff. Looks like Marvel came to their senses and they brought back Rage Hulk. I said Hulk, listen to me. Rage Hulk. I don't know, I wasn't really too happy about that new Hulk that they were sporting in the Avengers movies. So it looks like they brought back Rage Hulk. Finally get to see the fight between Spider-Man and Hulk that we have seen many times in the comics. Mermaid Spa. I don't know what's going on over here. You can see the fog is just perfectly in place here at the boardwalk. I mean, there's no wind, so this is where all the fog is just sitting. So we're now going to get into a foggy area. The fog that you see right now, this is not fog that is moving in. This is fog that is sitting in place. We are the ones walking into the fog right now. So. We just passed Mermaid. We are on West 37th Street, and we're going to get on the boardwalk here. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along so far. This is the main gate over here. This is what they consider the main gate of Seagate. I'll show you in a second when we cross over Surf. This is a new gate, by the way. This is all new. Very nice what they did over here. I haven't seen this gate. You can see the fog is just sitting here, waiting for us. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along. Like I said a few moments ago, if you are enjoying this, please hit the like, leave a comment, say hello. I always tell people, say hello. It's friendly here. Subscribe, hit that subscribe. We're going to get onto the boardwalk here. We have been walking for 76 minutes according to my counter. That is roughly an hour and 16 minutes. Well, roughly it is an hour and 16 minutes. It is, I would imagine, it's 7:16 in the morning right now. Alright, so there's a little bit of a breeze down here. It shouldn't be too much for the camera mic. These are the newest towers down here that were built about 10 years ago. You could barely see them. That's how thick the fog is. I would say this is half a mile visibility right now. Half a mile. I'm going to point the camera back up at these towers again. I don't know what I'm going to use for the thumbnail for today's video because there haven't been a lot of photogenic moments along this walk, so I'll have to look. Quite muggy down here right now. It is. Ugh. It's like wearing a wet blanket. We're gonna walk down to the amusement park area. We're gonna walk past the parachute jump. You can see the beach is, you know, there's obviously nothing going on the beach. They got red flags up, which means you cannot go in the water. Now the beach is officially open. It is, you know, after Memorial Day, so the beach is officially open up Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day weekend. Lifeguards will not show up until later on. But even when they show up, I imagine those red flags are going to stay up today. So. And nobody who wants to go in the water in this weather anyway. I mean, just the diehards. You get the polar bears. The diehard old Russians that swim in here no matter what. They'll swim in this water, rain, snow, ice, it doesn't matter. They'll swim in there in like 20-degree temperatures, 10-degree temperatures. All right, this is the boardwalk we remember right here. There are still large swaths of the boardwalk intact. The old boardwalk. This place still doesn't look like it's been moved into. Wow. This has been a failure. If that's the case, I mean, I don't see it. So they built this place so many years ago, and every time you walk by, there's like nobody in it. Kind of crazy. Wonder what's wrong with it. I know what someone's going to say. Well, you know, the area, right? The neighborhood. But there's plenty of new housing going up that people are moving into. That thing has been empty for years. I wonder if something wrong with it or something. I don't know. It has gotten really dark, by the way. I know the camera might be compensating for the light, but it is much darker than what you're seeing on camera. It's got really dark down here. No rain though. It's not raining. We are walking a really quick pace, and that is because most of this walk, if you think about it, most of this walk, we have not had to cross intersections and stop. So we've been non-stop walking here. So we might do this 6 miles in record time here. Normally I finish 6 miles around 1 hour 40 minutes. So that might not be the case. I might have to artificially inflate the time a little bit if we get down to the amusement park area and slow down and walk around and look at some stuff. So. That bird is pretty chatty. Giving you guys a nice look at the landscape here. Doing some camera work here. What I'm doing is I'm dropping the camera really low, like with my hands, and have my arm extended down by my knee as I'm doing that, because what I'm trying to do is get the whole height of the buildings in the frame. You hear those boards creaking, that's obviously me walking on the boardwalk. You hear some of the loose boards I'm walking on. That's West 28th Street. Very quiet down here right now. You can hear seagulls. You know, all you farm people out there, you guys are used to your roosters in the morning, or we get the seagulls that wake us up in the morning. This part of the boardwalk, I mean, it is literally a ply walk. So this part of the boardwalk originally was going to get redone. I want to say as far back as like 2020, and then they just left this. This was supposed to be temporary. This is just all, if you look, it's just a whole bunch of pieces of plywood. This was supposed to be the next area that they were going to put the concrete. Because, you know, if you remember when we started this walk, there was the concrete part. And then on the other end, on the Brighton Beach end, you guys know when I walk on that, that's all concrete over there. They do concrete. So years ago, this was supposed to be another concrete area, and it just never happened. And you can see, like, it's all, this is all ripping up now and stuff. Very soggy plywood. I'll tell you what, though, they've probably saved money on this section because they have not had to maintain this. I don't think they've had to maintain this area. So maybe they, every once in a while, pop some nails down. But the regular boardwalk, which we're getting back onto right now, I mean, this is constantly getting maintenance. That's the one sticking point about the fight between turning the boardwalk concrete and keeping the boardwalk intact. You know, you have the locals that don't want the boardwalk to go away, but then you have city management and parks department got the budget just to maintain this part of the boardwalk. You know, there's a lot of money. The manpower, the supplies, and all that stuff, so. My personal opinion, and I know some locals are not going to like hearing this, but they should keep the boardwalk in the immediate area of Coney Island, like the amusement parking area, like right over here, like where the Civic Center is over here, where they built this whole stage and stuff. Like from here, keep the boardwalk here, from all the way down to, say, past a little bit past the aquarium, and then everything should be concrete. Save a lot of money. But I know I get it. A lot of people strongly disagree with that and like keep the boardwalk, but you know. Is this still called, I know it's the amphitheater, but was it like the Ford Amphitheater or something? I don't know. It's crazy that it's now been, I feel like it's been over 10 years since they built this thing. We're getting close to the parachute jump. I don't know if you guys can notice it, but it's there. You could only see like the first, maybe half of it right now. It looks like they're getting ready for some kind of event. They got security out here checking tents and stuff. I wonder what's going on down here. It is, you know, first week of summer, so. It just says amphitheater at Coney Island Boardwalk. This is beautiful here. They really restored this very nicely. A lot of people ask me about this, well, here it is. I'll give you guys a close-up look. They restored all the artwork. There's basically a whole big food court in there. "92 minutes, 1 hour and 32 minutes." And I have definitely slowed down a lot because I was kind of realizing we were going to finish a little quicker, so slowed down a little bit. When we get to Stillwell Avenue, that's going to be 6 miles, so we'll probably do a little extra walk-in just around the amusement park and before I get on the train and get back. I'm going to now take the train back. I'll give you guys a look at the parachute jump in a moment. I'm just keeping my eye on this cart here. So here is the parachute jump. You could see it is even right under it. You could barely see it. We got the single A baseball stadium for the Mets over there. I think nowadays it's changed names so many times. I think now it's Maimonides Park. I think the hospital is now sponsoring it. They're running the Thunderbolt. Either that or the water ride. They're probably just doing... Oh, it's the water ride. They're doing maintenance, probably. That's why they're running it over there. Here is the pier. If it were a nicer day, I'd take you out on the pier, but there's nothing to see, guys. It's like a blank white piece of paper. Actually, it's like a blank dark gray piece of paper. I mean, it is really dark in that area over there. Here is the carousel. All right, we're in the main area now. So it looks like we will be doing the 6 miles officially at around the same time we usually do it. 1 hour and 38 minutes. I don't know if that's the quickest pace I've done. Like I said, though, I did slow down a lot. Once I got on the boardwalk, I was kind of like, yeah, let's just take our time here. This is the Salt and Sizzle Lighthouse. I'd say it's about 20 minutes before 8 a.m. So we started at 6, right? So 99 minutes, that would be an hour and 39 minutes. Yeah, sounds about right. Very colorful scheme on these fronts here. Here goes the wonder wheel. Give you guys a nice look at the wonder wheel before I start moving again. See, it's like pretty foggy and stuff still. They got some more rides. I don't know if you can tell, but behind the wonder wheel is some rides going over there. Some rides spinning around. Like this is the time of every morning they do the they do the checks, make sure everything is working because this park is opened later on. It is season. This is amusement park season here at Coney Island. So. You can hear the buzz of the electricity. All right, we're gonna jump down onto West 10th Street here because this is where the cyclone is. Give you guys a look at the cyclone. Now you can see that ride over there. See the ride over there spinning around? It's actually coming down. You're making sure everything runs before they open it up later. Give you guys a nice walk by of the cyclone here. And then we're going to wrap up the walk. We are going to be ending it in a little bit here. That is not the cyclone, that is the train. You have the roller coaster, which is basically a train, and you have the regular trains. It is starting to rain a little bit, very, very light drizzly. So right at the point where we're ending this, it is going to start raining. Which works out very well because we're about to end this one, so. I feel, you know, my legs feel really good right now. I know I just walked 6 miles. I could walk another 6. I mean, my normal average is between 10 and 12 miles anyway in a day, so it's not like I would be overdoing it. Probably do like a Stillwell Avenue walk or something. There goes the Q train. Nice panoramic view right here, guys. Look at this. Nice view. Get that nice view. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for tagging along. We're going to end the walk over here on Stillwell Avenue, just about a few minutes away. Here's another look at some trains. If you guys like trains, I know I love trains, so I definitely know I have a lot of viewers that love trains because I have a whole shorts section of my channel that features trains, so, and I get a lot of views on those, so. We're gonna end it right across the street from Nathan's. So if you guys want to see Nathan's, you gotta stick around for another couple of minutes. We're gonna be ending this walk just under 2 hours, man. The auto scooter is still here, place. there is the bump your ass off sign that's been around for so many years. This has been around since I was a kid, at least. Good walk. This was a good walk. Very nice early 6. Well, I'll tell you what. We've probably walking. This probably clocks in at about 6.5 to 7 miles of walking because we continued walking for a little while after we passed the 6 mile mark. So, all right, here we go. This is it. Ended at Nathan's. Unfortunately, it's not open. If it was, I'd go in and grab something to eat. This is where we're ending it, right here. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along. We walked all the way from Dyka Beach Park to this spot right here. We walked down the bike path, Shore Parkway. We did Neptune Avenue, and then we did the Boardwalk. And we have found our way right here on the corner of Surf and Stillwell, right in front of the Coney Island train terminal. And with that, I am signing off. So take care, and I will catch you all in the next walk. Bye bye.